Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Muhammad Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone, many blessings and salutations to the overflow like the house of David, the after what died for many these epistles are written for in these last days. Shalom to the elect. Kind of up a little early. Just was checking out a few different topics I wanted to go into, and all reliable. That chip coming. And, and listen, the spirit is in the earth right now where even Jake, who's not even really, who's casually paying attention to, events that's going on in the world, even obviously they see there's a fall coming to Babylon the Great. And, just the more and more and more these prophecies are hitting, it's getting more clear and clear to those who are necessarily who could be of the elect, but at this very stage right now they're still a little bit wandering in the wilderness. So I pray that lessons like this are edifying for those of you that have the eyes of and ears to hear. All right, so this is from Government Technology. It says, will 2026 see a chat GPT moment for microchip implants? You already know where it's going. Esau's trying to put a delicate spin on, because he knows he knows that the rhetoric that is spewed about, which is not rhetoric, it's the truth though, but in his mind is rhetoric. He knows that the conversation has been skewed so far to the right, where the microchip is looked at as something that is absolutely unredeemable, which it is. And Esau's trying to delicately spin it back. First of all, he's got to ban certain channels, so that's why brothers lose channels left and right. Because those of us that speak about the very subjects like this. So let's just get into it. It says, as Hollywood imagines our future, our brain and human microchip implants nearing a ChatGPT moment in 2026, medical process collides with privacy fears and state bans. Right. This is my wife and I have been enjoying the new Peacock TV series, the Copenhagen test over the past few weeks. It says IMDb describes the show this way: a first-generation analyst realizes his brain hacked. It says allowing access to his senses. Stuck between the agency and hackers, he acts normal to reveal the culprits. Yeah, so they're putting it in popular culture and making shows about it. They're quietly, silently surrounding society with the opportunity to join in something that's quote unquote innovative. Okay, that's what the chip represents, or they're trying to push it as, and they'll use it in popular culture first. The elders and apostles have been saying this for years. Your favorite singer is going to be singing about it. Your favorite rapper is going to be rapping about it. They're going to put it in your favorite show. Okay, they're going to build a whole show around it. They already made movies like Upgrade. Okay, it says while we haven't learned yet when or even if a chip was placed in the analyst's head, the first episode reveals that wireless signals are coming out of his brain and that someone can see and hear everything that he does. I don't really want to play that because they might copyright this, but you can see right here, So if you can play this video on YouTube if you want, but obviously we understand how copyrights go, and they'll slap one super fast on you. So fair use, fair use, fair use. Okay. science fiction and real life in 2026. It says, though I find that Hollywood fiction, though over sensationalized, often brings to life what is coming next regarding how technology will impact life. It says, put simply, people often understand these movies and TV shows better than what is actually happening in real life. And that's true, or real world, that's true. It says, from war games in the early 80s to Mr. Robot in 2015, which, by the way, if you've never seen Mr. Robot, please go watch that show. Oh, that's a good show. I think it ran for like 5 or 6 seasons. Good show, man. All right, goes into a lot of this. Okay, definitely goes into the tech world. Okay, it says to the Copenhagen test today, the people and process implications of new technology can become more real for viewers in these dramas. It says, meanwhile, headlines continue to progress regarding implanting chips in humans for various reasons. Consider these stories already published in 2026. Absolutely. It says, Neuralink set to launch high volume brain implant production as competitors weigh in. Elon Musk's company Neuralink has announced plans to expand to brain computer interface chip that link to high volume production this year. Neuralink will start high volume production of brain computer interface devices and move to streamlined, almost entirely automated surgical procedure in 2026. Musk wrote in a December 31st, 2025 posting. Device threads will go through the dura without the need to remove it. Ooh, yeah. So he's saying it without saying it. He's using little face people who are, the face of these things, because they're not really the ones that are behind the whole, but they're little insiders to push this thing to the masses. Okay, that's why they make them public figures, right? At this stage, we interpret high volume realistically as hundreds moving toward low thousands of implants per year. Caroline Aguilar, CEO and co-founder of InBrain, Neural Electronics, one of Neuralink's competitors, told the debrief. It says, although Aguilar added that the company expects that number to eventually reach tens of thousands on account of a range of factors. And so you can see what they're doing. And they're telling you, and right here it says he is also a first ALS patient and the first nonverbal person to receive the implant, he shared in a post. And we were talking about, I was talking about this story from Fox News. It says, and the story from Fox News back in April 2025, paralyzed man with ALS is third to receive Neuralink implant, can type with brain. Brad Smith, an Arizona husband and father with ALS, has become the third person to receive Neuralink, the brain implant made by Elon Musk company. And see, this is how they're gonna give you cry pieces, right? Or puff pieces. They're gonna give you all types of things to say. Oh, it's gonna help society. Oh, it's gonna help with this. It's gonna help with that. And then they're gonna have celebrities come out and champion it. And then they're gonna have like little rallies. They're gonna try to gin up support for it, because they understand that the power of suggestion is the actual thing they need. when they have the power of suggestion on their side, which they're the, Esau's the devil, okay? He's looking for you to support what he's trying to do, okay? This is Psalms 10 and 2. It says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. And this is him persecuting the poor, man, okay? You think the elite are going to take that chip? No, okay? Some may, I don't know, but it doesn't say in the scriptures, but well, you know what? It does. It says all will to both small and great, right? So, maybe they will take it. I don't know. It says, Psalms 10 and 2, it says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. That's right. They've imagined being having slaves and controlling over everyone and being able to know their thoughts and stuff, and they're going to be taken in that very same imagination into captivity under the Israelites. We're going to have that power instead of him, naturally too. It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. And he could care less. From where he sits, he thinks he is the Most High. He thinks that he climbed out of those caves, okay, started taking showers, which that's debatable, okay? But he believes that he is now on a different aura. He's the result of evolution. Okay, he teaches junk science like that. He is the inevitable case of evolution. Okay, the missing link is you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American, which is one of the most racist scientific or theories, all right, that Esau's ever come up with. The missing link. Okay. So now he feels that he needs to chip the entire world to keep them under a certain vision, okay, so to speak. He understands that he's in the power seat and he gets to do what he wants to do, but there's still boundaries on that. The Lord did not say that you can count the people, and Esau is still doing the census. So he's breaking every law imaginable. He doesn't care. But with that being said, he's going to be stopped. Okay? He thinks he's going to get away with it, but he's not. All right, it says, Psalms 10 and 4 says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. And for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. And he just like Stephen Miller got up on that stage at Seakirk's, whatever the fuck that was. Okay, and he was boasting in how powerful they are and how they don't have anything. When we know who he's talking about, we know who he's talking about when he says they. Okay, they're not innovative. Yeah. Okay, they have nothing. Okay. Well, I got Yahweh about Shemal Shah. I got all I need. Okay. This devil is he's a raging lunatic, man. He ain't gonna stop. Okay. Isaiah 32 and 5, the vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord Yahweh, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. Hungry and thirsty for righteousness from the devil is a dubious a dubious endeavor at best. Okay? The devil is not going to provide you with the nutrients that you need. Okay, he's going to give you something that looks like it's nutrient. He's going to give you something that says organic on it, but is absolute trash. This truth, as he's pushing, right, his whatever that is, but it's all lies. This truth that he's pushing is nothing but inflated on hopes and dreams. Okay, he gave you a Barack Obama. He gave you a Joe Biden. He even gave you Donald Trump for some of you niggas. Okay, and it's all inflated. None of it is real. You're looking for a temporary crown, and the Lord says that if you stay and keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, and you stay and pray on your watch, okay, and you do the things that please the Lord, He will give you a crown that is not temporary, man. Okay, a crown forever, and will be recognized as such. But those who live in this world, they believe that as long as I take this chip, because right now they can ignore it, but once it's in their foot, once it's in their face, and in order to keep your money, or to keep your job, or to keep your children, or to keep whatever worldly goods that you've formed at this point, you're going to have to take that chip. Now, right now, the devil's being nice about it, but eventually, you're going to have to come to an impasse. Okay. Verse 7, it says, the instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. And he's going to continue to pass laws and stuff and things that are going to go against everything that you believe. Okay, he pushes that whole alphabet agenda so hard, and y'all just make excuses about it. Okay, well, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Well, yes, it does, because eventually he's going after your children. Okay, this is Isaiah 10:1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. That's right. Notice that word grievous keeps coming up, because he is not a ruler of logic. He is a ruler of unlogical things or dislogical things. He's a ruler of turning upside down, right? He's the ruler that's going to come with all fallacy, all bullshit. His logic is based in all lies. Just as the scripture says in Revelation 20, that he will come, speaking lies into the earth. He was shut up for a little time, which was close to 1,100 years. That already happened. Now he's being loosed for a little season, and he's doing all bullshit. And he's telling Jake, just like he told him back in the day, you should surely not die, right? This is Genesis 3:1. The serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh thy power have made. It says, and he said unto the woman, yea, have the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And what does that tree represent? It represents men, okay? It represents men and philosophy, okay? You don't go to every tree of the garden and just start listening to what they have to say, okay? Because the law, statutes, commandments, okay, were given only unto Israel. And if you start listening to the men of the earth, they're going to tell you that those law, statutes, commandments are primitive, okay? He'll call you a Neanderthal for even listening to the law, statutes, commandments. Okay, but he'll proclaim himself as a Christian. Anyway, it says, verse 2, it says, and the woman said unto the serpent, which the woman represents Israel. Okay, in this case Eve, but Israel, because Israel is likened unto a comely and delicate woman. Okay, it says, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High have said, we shall not eat of it, neither shall we touch it, yet lest ye die. And that's true. Because if you take that chip, that's a philosophy. You went to the tree, all right, of Esau Edom, okay, and he started telling you about all these wonderful things that you can do. You can heal ALS. Okay, you can give people who doesn't have speech back their speech. You can make the dumb speak. Okay, you can make the blind see. These are things that he's going to perform in the midst of the garden. Okay, and people are going to come to wonder, and they're going to wonder after the fucking whore. It says, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, It says, the Most High have said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And what did the serpent respond with? And the serpent said unto the woman, which this is an actual conversation between two beings that were on the earth, the righteous, all right, which represents the woman, and the wicked, which is of Esau, Edom, or at that time the Canaanites. Okay, all right, because you had three characteristics, the three classifications of people back in that day. You had the sons of God, which is of the now as the Israelites today. Then you got the sons of men, which are the rest of the nations, and you got the sons of the wicked, which is the Canaanites, but reincarnated as Esau, Edom. Okay, it says, for the Most High doth know, or back and forth. Genesis 3 and 4 says, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall see, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And I'm going to tell you who bought onto this the most, okay? Which is ironic, but also it's playing itself out. All right, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American women, you have bought onto this so much. Oh, you know what? They is hiding. Adam was kind of being coy with me. Why he ain't just tell me everything straight up? See, he ain't tell me we could be gods. Now they can walking around themselves calling it queens. Okay, calling themselves royalty. Don't own 2 cents in their fucking bank account, but they're royalty. Okay, I'm a queen. Okay, which queen means whore. Okay, you look up the actual word, Quean. Okay, that's what that word means. That's what it's based upon. All right, which means whore. Okay, I'm a queen and all this kind of stuff. So they bought onto this shit, hook, line, sinker, and that's why Esau, Edom always attacks the woman first. He did it in the 50s and 60s with the woman's liberation movement. Okay, led by the Rothschilds and the CIA. Okay. He introduced something in the world called feminism. I'm saying all this because the devil is well aware of who he is, and more importantly, well aware of who you are, so-called Black, Latino, Native American. He knows who you are, and he has to throw little curveballs to keep you in line. Therefore, ye shall not surely die, right? For the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. That's right. And Israel, being nim-witted, fell for it. Verse 6 is, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was, and the food represents philosophy, okay, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, okay. It says, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also to her husband with her, and he did eat. That's right. And we bought this shit, hook, line, sinker. But now the elect is waking up in this day, and they ain't going for that fruit no more. They're putting away that fruit. And Esau Edom is coming with all type of lies to try to keep things in he's trying to keep everything back in place. He understands that his time is ticking, so he has to get this new world order set up as quick as possible. Okay, and so I love doing like little lessons like this on prophecy, and just going through a few precepts and things of that nature, so that we have understanding of where we are and where we're going. So with that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai Ba'Shem Wahara Kakadash. Shalom to the elect.